Hi, this is Melva, and we're back reading The Story of Redemption by Ellen White. Okay, and we're on page 19, the last page of the first chapter. Okay, so we're doing really good. So we see what's happened so far in heaven. Okay, that the angels, the evil angels, Satan's angels, those his sympathizers have been kicked out of heaven. Okay, so we're getting ready to see what's getting ready to happen next. All right. We're on the last paragraph on page 19 of the first chapter. The Father consulted his Son in regard to at once carrying out their purpose to make man to inhabit the earth. He would place man upon probation to test his loyalty before he could be rendered eternally secure. If he endured the test wherewith God saw fit to prove him, he should eventually be equal with the angels. He was to have the favor of God, and he was to converse with angels, and they with him. He did not see fit to place them beyond the power of disobedience. Okay, so a few minutes ago we just finished talking about we have to be fit for heaven. Okay, Adam and Eve had to be fit to stay in the Garden of Eden, okay, and have access to the Father without any barriers, okay, as we have now. Sin is our barrier, so we cannot talk to God face to face or talk to Christ face to face, okay, in the condition that we're in, okay. So we have to be fit. So we have to be obedient and we have to trust Him, okay. So we see here that even though Adam and Eve were made perfect, okay, they were not in a position for eternal security until they had passed their test, okay. So we're going through the same type of situation. We are being tested and our lives are probationary, okay, until we die and until Jesus comes to save us, okay. We have to be fit for heaven. Excuse me. So let's see here what's getting ready to happen next. We're on chapter 2 of the Story of Redemption by Ellen G. White, and we're getting ready to read about creation. Okay, creation of us, creation of this world. Okay. The Father and the Son engaged in the mighty, wondrous work that they had contemplated of creating the world, meaning our world. The earth came forth from the hand of the Creator exceedingly beautiful. There were mountains and hills and plains, and interspersed among them were rivers and bodies of water. The earth was not one extensive plain, but the monotony of the scenery was broken by hills and mountains, not high and ragged as they are now, but regular and beautiful in shape. The bare high rocks were never seen upon them, but lay beneath the surface, answering as bones to the earth. The waters were regularly dispersed, and the hills, mountains, and very beautiful plains were adorned with plants and flowers and tall, majestic trees of every description, which were many times larger and much more beautiful than trees are now. The air was pure and healthful, and the earth seemed like a noble palace. Angels beheld and rejoiced at the wonderful and beautiful works of God. Okay. Now, as Mrs. White does usually in all of her writings, she gives us a reference point in Scripture, okay, for us to take from for what she has written, okay, or what the Lord has shown her too. Now, this chapter is based on Genesis 1. And guess what we're getting ready to do? We're getting ready to go to Genesis 1, and we're getting ready to read it, okay, before we finish our chapter. All right? So, I use the New King James Version of the Bible, all right? And I don't know what version you've chosen to use, but hopefully you have it with you. and we're getting ready to read Genesis 1. Okay, Genesis chapter 1. All right, and then we'll come back and finish reading chapter 2, which is titled The Creation of the Story of Redemption. Okay, all right, now let's see what the Lord has to share with us here in Genesis chapter 1. Okay, because I believe it's very important that as we read Mrs. White's writings that we use scripture also, okay, so that we can understand what the Lord is saying to us from His Word and what He has shared with Mrs. White to share with us, okay, the secrets of the prophets that He has given them. Okay, they're not always found in scripture, but sometimes inferred, but they're not always found there. Okay? All right, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. And just a note real quick, it's interesting that He didn't say the morning and the evening were the first day. He said the evening and the morning were the first day, which is really interesting, okay? Which is opposite of the way that we look at it today. Still, it's the day, okay? It makes up a day. Then God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Okay? Thus God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. So the evening and the morning were the second day. Then God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters He called seas, or oceans. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth." And it was so. I just wanted to highlight here, He says, the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind. According to its kind means an apple tree yields apples. A pear tree yields pears. Okay? A banana tree yields bananas. Okay? Not the opposite way around. Okay? All right. And the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. I was eating an orange the other day. Seeds in the orange. You can take those seeds, plant them in the earth, and you get an orange tree. Okay? So depending upon where you plant it now, not all areas are conducive to grow oranges, but He's put those seeds in there for us to use. Okay? All right. To grow more fruit after its kind. All right? That orange tree is not going to yield bananas, so you don't have to ever worry about that. Okay? All right, one more verse before we get ready to go to our next section. So the evening and the morning were the third day. Okay? All right. Now we're going to take our break right here, and then we're going to come back.